again, talking about the law. The law is to apply in this case that the judge is going to brief you. And now, I think now that you've heard the testimony, I think it's good to think about the law now in perspective and why we have this law. A person accused of a crime is presumed to be innocent. This means you must start with presumption that Brian Reed is innocent. And presumption, by its definition, means to believe something without any facts to support it. That's a presumption. This presumption continues throughout the trial and entitles Brian Reed to a verdict of not guilty unless you are satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty. Every crime is made up of parts called elements. The prosecutor must prove each element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Brian Reed is not required to prove his innocence or to do anything. And that's a really big, important one, folks, because there's a lot of things that you might have wanted to have put into evidence. Things like fingerprints. Things like, that the police choose not to gather. I'm going to talk about in a minute. I think we clarified this in the trial. The interrogation video. If it was my duty to prove his innocence, trust me, I would have spent an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we all would have watched that video together and gone through it. And then, but again, as the judge told you, nobody can prove their innocence. Unless there was a video installed like Paul has now to protect himself and protect his employees, we don't have indisputable proof. All we have is our collective knowledge of what we've heard here today. A reasonable doubt is a fair and honest doubt, throwing out the evidence or lack of evidence. And so what is a reasonable doubt that grows out of the evidence or lack of evidence? It's a doubt that we can attach a reason to. For example, the fact that Brian Reed is gay. Is that a reason to find him not guilty, to acquit him? No, because that's not a fact that you can say, oh, he's gay, let's acquit him. That would be reasonable. But a reasonable doubt, remember it says a reasonable doubt. It doesn't say if there's 3 reasonable doubts. It doesn't say if there's 10 reasonable doubts. Just that there is a reasonable doubt. And so, going through this case, I made, for me, what I believe to be the top 10 reasons to doubt, or the top 10 reasons why Brian is innocent. And these are what my thoughts are, and your thoughts may be different. You've all been taking a lot of notes throughout this case. But let's just look at them in different order. Anthony Dubé's perjury. Now, I don't think anybody's ever seen or witnessed. I don't think this judge, we can't ask him. Maybe after trial you can talk to him. But I don't even think he's ever seen such outrageous, clear perjury in his entire 13 years on the bench. That was just nonstop. Because typically, it was just nonstop. I mean, the perjury from 2 minutes versus 18 minutes to, I don't know what an opening statement is versus voir dire. And then then he admits that he heard the conversation at the bench, and he knew that was opening statement. I mean, from all the, I can't even describe all the lies. And I could spend another 2 hours going through them for you, but you just heard them on, Thursday? Thursday y'all heard them, so I'm pretty sure that you have a real clear memory, but if you don't, if any one of you says, wow, I'm not really sure, just ask the judge to cue that video up. If you need to hear testimony again, and they'll play it right up there for you. And you can rewatch it if you think that's going to be helpful for you in deciding this case. Deputy Denis' investigation. What investigation does he do back on December 23rd? He interviews Anthony, interviews Brian, and takes some photos of the scene. That mean what? Well, he doesn't take fingerprints.